For women living with HIV, establishing trust is so important. It's the basis of any relationship is trust and communication. If you don't have trust and communication within your doctor, then you're not going to thrive as a woman living with HIV or going through menopause.
Living with HIV and menopause is like a double whammy. Being long-term, the medications have put a lot of torso fat, all of this, the body changes. In 2014, I had a hysterectomy because women with HIV are more likely to get cervical cancers.
I believe that, just the things that we go through as people living with this human condition, as I call it, of HIV. HIV took away my motherhood. So this is something that was very, very, it's still something that affects me, but at the same time, it makes me happy for those women that are able to have children.
I remember in those earlier days that there was a lot of ignorance and stigma around HIV, and that my friends only knew one person, Magic Johnson, who was living with HIV.
I went to the GYN for family planning. They asked me if I wanted to have a hysterectomy. If I would have had a hysterectomy, I would have never had my second child.
I've been diagnosed with HIV some 4 decades now. And a person who was diagnosed back then was fearful of being told that because people had a negative connotation about receiving that diagnosis, and society at large was very discriminatory towards people who had HIV.
I was diagnosed at 40, like right before my 40th birthday. And so I think that it did present kind of different challenges for me around my body and how my body was going to change, right? 40 is supposed to be a milestone anyway. And rather than walking into 40 with all of this extra confidence of having lived this 40 years, I went into it with more questions than answers.
HIV has taken its toll on me, actually, because of HIV, I should say. I was unlucky enough to be diagnosed with cytomegalovirus in 93 and lost my eyesight by early 94. And I've had pneumocystis several times. Now I think they call that even something else. That's how long I've been HIV positive.
I believe HIV ages you faster. So whereas you probably wouldn't have osteoarthritis until a later age, I have that. So that's a big difference with HIV compared to a woman without HIV.
I have to be on several schedules, several regimens. 8 a.m. take medicine, 8 p.m. take medicine. I have to go, is this my HIV or is this my menopause?
I was totally clueless about menopause because I grew up in the 70s. Nobody talked about menopause.
I was feeling symptoms that were so strong. I said, hey y'all, would y'all mind doing me a favor? Crack y'all windows. I'm just going through one of my private moments. And everybody on the bus, I had to laugh to myself, but everybody on the bus opened their windows. They must have thought I was going to take off in there. And that air was coming at me, and I was sipping on the water, and I just felt so much better.
Y uno piensa, yo a veces decía, uy, el tener menopausia, ya no sos una mujer, ¿no? Pero no, sí, seguís siendo mujer, seguís sintiendo lo mismo, seguís, al contrario, es mucho mejor, como digo, ¿no?
Every time I have some kind of heat flash or, break out in a sweat, I think, is it really HIV? Is it really menopause? Which is it?
Going through menopause, I think, has been different from my perspective with HIV than that of my friends, because initially I thought it was HIV that was causing everything that was happening to me. I was worried about whether or not it was side effects from my medication. I was worried about the actual process of HIV as opposed to the transition of menopause. And so I think that the average person doesn't have those concerns, right? Like there's not an other for them to worry about.
There's been limited research on women, but the little research that's out there, it talks about how people living with HIV, the onset of menopause comes on earlier, and it can come on earlier. And with that, like you said before, mood swings, hot flashes, and across the board, sometimes you don't know if that goes into mental health. Do I need to up my doses of medication because of my mental health? Or is it because of menopause? Or is it just because I'm just having a bad day?
I'm fighting two things, when it comes down to the medications and also to the changes that menopause makes in a woman's body.
We are women first. We are not our disease process.
Women who age with HIV into menopause aren't usual. And because they have a past that's pretty medically impacted by things, that it's not a straightforward path with menopause either.
Doctors need to know more of the psychological effect that this is having on women. There's so many medical issues that can come with it because it's, of course, attacking the immune system, whatever. We pretty much got all that. But who do we talk to?
Ask more questions. Had I known the questions to ask, I probably would have gotten different treatment. Ask, are you sleeping okay? Ask, are you feeling uncomfortable? Are you having night sweats?
Be proactive. When I go and see my doctor, I have a long list this long. I mean, they're like, oh my God, Maria, what is it now? What is all of this? And I'm like, it doesn't matter. I have to make sure that everything is answered.
Let the patient do a teach back, a talk back. I should be able to explain in my own words what you told me to do to improve my situation.
Just because you have HIV, that doesn't take your civil or human rights away.
Think of it as a badge of honor because that's just showing that we lived long enough to make it, where a lot of people have not.
You don't have to suffer with it, but just deal with it and expect it because you are a woman. Know that we are built to go through things.
Y si me necesitan que hablen, ahí estoy, ¿entendés? Yo sé que hay muchas latinas que están escondidas con todo esto y sé que es muy difícil para ellas, pero sí se puede, claro que se puede, todo se puede.
I'm still here, surviving and thriving.
I will survive menopause. I will survive HIV. I will survive HIV and menopause.
I'm not going to let HIV or anything stop me from doing what I've been called to do, to live my life to its fullest. I'm not going to let all these titles and all these illnesses define me because I know that I have a purpose.
I thrive with HIV. I don't live with it. I'm not afflicted by it. I thrive with it.